Well, good evening. I'm a little late today. A lot of work. Had to work late, so my fledgling news organization I've started, media organization, is off to a rough start, I'd say. I got a new light that lights up my face if you have my hat not in the way. I don't know, it's kind of a scary thing for all you guys. I feel bad you have to look at my face because I'm old and ugly, and I understand that. So, thanks for the comment. Okay, today is April 7th, 2021, and here is your Utah headline. Third Utah arrested in Capitol riot. Looks like there's a few Utahns that are involved in that, so three now from Utah. Salt Lake mass mandate continues till the end of, well, actually, Salt Lake mass mandate is going to continue, and the rest of the state ends April 10th. So Salt Lake looks like they're going to continue with the mask mandate. There still will be some restrictions, so don't think it's going to be a free pass. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. What's kind of going on in other countries right now, and hopefully not moving to our country. Okay, 1 million Utahns have been vaccinated. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. 612 more cases, 2 deaths. Yeah, looks like cases are going up a little bit. BLM Interior Secretary will visit, and she's visiting the Grand Staircase Escalante and the Bears Ears Monument, and she's going to make some final decisions after meeting with tribal leaders and Governor Cox about the permanent boundaries of these two national monuments. Remember, national monuments are when public land is taken and the state grounds, SITLA, which is a private entity, land is traded for public lands outside of the Bears Ear and Staircase, and that's where a lot of land theft comes from. They take the public land, give it to state. SITLA sells it off because SITLA is not public land. That's how SITLA keeps gaining land. They just sell it all off. It's supposed to be for all generations, but it's just on the market constantly. They invest in the stock market. Anyway, so these are federal lands. These are not publicly owned lands. Somebody says government lands. This is a government land. This is what it's about. So hopefully she decides not to expand the boundaries back where they were at. And like I told you guys, public land is held in public trust. You are the owner of it. They manage it for you. Same with Forest Service. You own it. They manage it. These monuments are not yours. They're owned by the government. They're government lands. Anyway, so also put this into perspective. Biden's plan is like $40 billion or $20 billion for the BLM. Makes you wonder what's going to happen to our public lands in the future, because they are being managed. They have the right to do what they want. So yeah, let's hope this Deb doesn't turn into a Gestapo gets hunting and fishing and outdoor recreation on public lands. Okay, let's get to Biden's gun control. So Biden's gun control, I read into it today what he said, and it doesn't seem like a whole lot. Honestly, I expected to see high capacity magazines being banned, ARs banned. I expect to see AK-47s banned. It looks like he's just talking about closing loopholes where there's ghost guns, where they buy all the parts for a gun and they put it together, no serial numbers. That's probably a good thing. He's got red flag laws, so he's going to basically say if your friends and family turn you in because you're psychotic and saying you're going to blow everybody's heads off, yes, they could call in on you. That light is just right in my eyeballs. Anyway, so doesn't look as drastic as I thought. Red flag law could help if people are acting crazy, and especially those with mental disorders that are on medication, antipsychotics or antidepressants of some sort, to keep their psychotic behavior under wraps. And if they're having that problem and they have to take those drugs, they shouldn't have any kind of gun anyways. I mean, until they're better. Some people go through some hard times, get off the meds, you prove you're doing okay, then yeah. But if someone's out there like I've seen in the past, no, those people should have been called in immediately. And somebody may be here that I was good friends with. Anyway, so 5 states are accounting for 43% of all positive COVID cases. These states only had 22% of the, they're only 22% of the entire population of the U.S. So kind of think about who those states might be. Just saying, guys, we're having a blast, ain't we? UK variant. Let's get into this. Most of the cases that are in the U.S. are the UK variant, and it's spreading pretty quickly, and it's doing some damage. And anyway, this new variant is hitting younger people, and it's getting children sick, and it's also putting people in their 30s and 40s in the hospital, and it's getting a little more dangerous. And like we said, this spreads faster, it's more contagious, and it's a mutation that avoids the human immune system. So this could possibly be a problem, but the one I'm going to get into last is going to be the real problem we're going to face. That's coming soon. So anyway, the COVID mutation from India. Oh wait, we're going to get it now. Here we go. The COVID mutation from India is getting worse. India is really struggling right now, guys. This is a double mutation. This thing, the spike proteins are mutated. They don't look the same, and they actually plug into the human cell better. They spread into the cell faster. They allow the cell. They take over the cell, hijack it, start replicating fast. These two new variants in this one mutation is it's got a knack for avoiding the human immune system, much like the Brazil and the UK. So what does that mean? What does that mean? What's our end game with this? Now I'm reading from India, off their news organizations. A little more truthful than I think the American news organizations are. So we talked about spike protein change. It binds the cell easier. It gains entry easier than the other strains. It's harder for the human immune system to recognize the shape. Now the shape of this prong, is what it connects with. That's the difference, and your body hasn't seen it. So this is where things get sticky. So you got the shot already. Now the shot is going to help immensely because it's gonna enact some kind of human immune system response to spike proteins. Now this thing's mutating, and the spike protein's changing. Now it may not change again because this might be the final fit. But there probably will be another round of vaccines guaranteed. India's already working on it now, because this needs a new upgraded vaccine to stop it. Because if your body doesn't recognize the spike protein that your body creates through RNA vaccine, then yeah, it needs to be a whole new vaccination. But the vaccine is to mainly get the population vaccinated. And I'll clue you guys in on a big deal with this. I mean, a lot of people are anti, COVID, and that there are a lot of people dying of it too. But okay, so the reason why the vaccination needs to be done is because if the population gets vaccinated, there's less of a chance of the virus mutating. What we are worrying about, remember, COVID wasn't that deadly on its own. The first virus was, yes, before it mutated again. Then it mutated down. So the first one was more deadly, less contagious. Then the next mutation was what we most of us got. The first one was really bad, but the next mutation wasn't quite as deadly. Now this one is 60% more deadly, and it's more contagious. And same with the Brazil and same with the UK that we're dealing with right now. Remember, numbers are actually going up, not falling. So, and that's just nationwide. We're starting to see a surge. Anyway, India said that this is of great concern. So India itself, its ministry, said this is of great concern. And India really hasn't been let's pass $1 trillion bill, guys. India hasn't been the country that was like, we need to really be this way or that way. They've stopped people from flying in because they're really, really concerned about this double mutation. Okay, not just for India, but for the rest of the world. I'm telling you, these are smart cookies in India. They really are. The vaccine has shown an immune response. So if you get the vaccine, you get an immune response with the vaccine to these other strains. Now we're going to get into how many tests are being performed per week, per country, to see if the variants are moving and if they're mutating again. Now, very small numbers. They caught this one. Okay. This does work against multiple variants to a point, but there's been no studies yet on the India variant. Not good. Not good. I'm just telling you, not to be the fear monger or anything like that. I had the numbers wrote down, and I cannot believe that I have, in my chicken scratch, somehow lost my numbers. Boy, this is really kind of a bad deal for the news, Rick. How come you're not getting the news right? Well, I'll tell you why, because I've been up all day long just getting my butt kicked. I really don't see it. So, what we're going to end up just going with, just giving you guys that idea that it's only like 1%, 1 to 8% in the UK, 1% has been tested in America. We're talking the numbers out of an entire week that they're testing for these new variants is not that high, and it needs to be a lot higher, a lot more tests done to see what variants actually flowing through the population. So this is follow-up. You know, if they can tell if a new variant hits our shores, or in other countries, if they can actually beat the variant from spreading, this would stop us from having to get shot after shot after shot after shot after shot. But the way it's looking right now is the new variant spike protein's changing. That's just the way it is. And when this happens, you have to have another vaccination, another RNA vaccination that your own cell creates, gets the information to the vaccine, and then your RNA mRNA vaccine tells your body to produce the spike protein that binds to the cell, so your body can see the spike protein and it can go ahead and just, you know, release the right antibodies and eat it up. That's why you still get COVID-19 when you're vaccinated, just your immune response hits. That's why people that are still vaccinated can still get the virus and still spread it, but they're just not as contagious and they're not as infected by it because their immune system's still fighting it. And that's what the main key is with this. We do not, under any circumstances, want this thing to mutate further. The problem with the virus is, and I've told people before, no one listens to me, the problem with the virus is when it starts having a massive human population to just play around in, it's going to learn. Now, it should become less deadly and more contagious. That's the direction we want this virus to go. Because, you know, it's going to be like a flu. Okay, it infects one person, goes to the next person, and everybody just consistently gets better. Now, if it starts killing people off, then that would be not beneficial to the virus. But this thing, remember, it wasn't as deadly. It was your own immune system was killing a lot of people. It was their own immune system doing the damage to their body. Now it's becoming that it's going the other direction. So the fear mongering is, yes, this is 60, 70% more contagious. Yes, it's 60, 70% more deadly. Yes, this thing is mutating. And yes, we do have one that has a double mutation in it already. Brazil strain, we don't know if that's even mutated. This is the UK strain, more than likely that's entered into India, and it's mutated twice on top of the UK strain. So this is why vaccination, and I hate to, everybody's an anti-vaxxer, I completely understand. I'm right there with you guys, 100%. I don't want the shot. I don't want to have a shot in my arm of anything. I don't care what it is. But I'm starting to see where the CDC head was saying there's trouble coming. I'm starting to understand. It's a no-brainer. I know we got conspiracy theories. We have lost like $10 trillion due to this stupid thing. Literally, our lives have been completely disrupted. Many of us have lost people. I'm suffering problems too. There's another issue you look up yourself. I had to be doing a news article on this. What the syndromes caused after the coronavirus. That's exactly, you can get a light case of coronavirus, all of a sudden you're like, I can't remember anything. Why? Depression. You have anxiety, and this is all caused by this dang thing because it does damage to your body, and it's you that does the damage. It's your immune system. So, anybody really against us, you kind of think about this in the perspective. We've seen people we know die. If it's the flu, if it's just the influenza, I had it. It's not the influenza. I don't know where someone says it is just the flu. That's because they got a mild case. Now, remember, everybody that's getting this new stuff in India and this new UK strain is infecting younger people. This next one from India, when it reaches U.S. shores, we might be in a lot of trouble because India's already saying this is bad for the world. Fear-mongering aside, do we want to go through this again? Did we like last year? I didn't like last year. So, okay, let's go back to Utah. I can barely even breathe. Anyway, Arch National Park Formation wins Utah Art Challenge. Okay, well, that's great. Yeah, not a big deal. So I'm going through the Utah news. I can't see much more. It is almost 10 o'clock. You guys are great. My fledgling, Utah news, but turns into more of a national news. And hope you guys enjoy it. And this bright light that my daughter got me is just bright. But I guess that's why you see the newscasters doing this all the time. You're like, okay, so just saying their eyes are all watered and stuff. I couldn't find the numbers. I don't know where I wrote them down, and I wish I had them for you. It just, would have finished out the newscast. So tomorrow, hopefully I get some news for you, something, if you want something researched, it took me an hour to do this just to get this wrote up. You know, if you want something talked about on this little, 17 views, 20 views newscast, hey, send me an article. Send me something you want talked about. Send me a discussion. And you can also post on 45 News. So if you want to do your own news for tomorrow night, message me. That'd be great. And just do your own newscast. You guys know who you are. If you want to do your own newscast, do it. I worked a 14-hour day today. I'm beat. I'm just beat. And yesterday I just looked at the newsroom and I said, no, I can't do it. I'm just too tired. And yeah, the news can wait, I guess. Not really. The news doesn't wait. So go ahead, get your videos into me. Message me. Post them up. If you want to do any newscast, go ahead, start in, and we can get this thing rolling. Coming to you from Cedar City, Utah. This is Rick with 45 News Utah. Have a great night. It's bedtime. Talk to you later.